Hello and welcome to the ProducePodcast, episode 11.
Woo.
It's been a little bit since we recorded because we took a short break due to my teeth being removed as well as New Year's and Christmas, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Christmas episode was posted 2 days before Christmas, so you got yourselves a Christmas package. But now we're back.
Yeah.
We're back and ready to do things. I'm Pear.
And this is Mongo.
And if for anyone who's just joining us and who doesn't know the rules, I don't know what was in my throat right there. We each have to use each other's fruit names, and if we get each other's name wrong, we have to take a shot of apple cider vinegar, which, as we know, is apple's piss. I'm not 100% in it today, so I'm going to try to just make this work.
Okay.
I'm not feeling very good.
You gonna do your little intro?
I was thinking about it, and my only one was, I feel like rotten fruit.
Nice.
That was my intro. What do you think?
It's amazing.
I think my best one has been fruit punch.
I don't remember your intros.
I don't remember what episode it was, but it was the best one.
Okay. I'll believe you.
So, I guess start things off. How was your break? How's your 2-week break from the podcast?
It was alright.
Did you do anything cool? Did you see any cool people?
Break as in, like, before the Christmas party? Or
It'd be after.
Oh. Well, I mean, we didn't see anybody, so. I mean, we saw your family for a little bit.
Did you do anything cool with them?
What? The way you're framing this is really funny.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we opened some Christmas gifts with your...
You open up Christmas gifts with my family? That's fucking weird.
You were there. I said we.
Should I get into the first topic, I guess, already?
Sure.
So, did you have any New Year's resolutions that you actually accomplished in 2020?
I stopped making resolutions a long-ass time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I feel like even now I still have to kind of come up with some sort of small resolution for myself for the year to be like, all right, I want to get this done. One was to lose some weight, which I did, but I immediately gained it back, so I guess it didn't matter. And the other was to do some internet stuff, which for me I would count as this podcast.
Nice.
So I would say I didn't win or lose because I failed one, but I also beat the other.
Yeah.
So I passed with a C.
I feel like I live pretty day to day, and if something is upcoming, that's the only thing I think about. You know, like if I have an event coming up soon, then that's like the only thing I think about.
I guess now that you told me that you don't really make New Year's resolutions anymore, one of my questions won't really work because I was going to ask if you had any New Year's resolutions that you're setting for 2021.
I mean, I could probably come up with some sort of internal goal, but it's not like, it's not the same spirit as a resolution, if that makes any sense.
What do you mean?
Because it's like, I want to do this instead of I am going to do this for my New Year's resolution. This is what I want to do for this year. This is what I want to accomplish. Like, it's just kind of in the back of my head, kind of not, because New Year's resolutions always seem upfront and something that for some reason people always get so pumped about when they first make it, and then, you know, a lot of the time they completely forget about it until, you know, next New Year's, after they've popped off.
Well, people always kind of forget about them or they lose motivation to do it. But I feel like if you really can accomplish it, you feel that satisfaction of getting something done.
Rip to everybody's 2020 resolutions. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to hang out with friends more. I'm going to spend more time with my elderly grandparents.
That's kind of fucked. Yeah. It wasn't great. 2020.
It's rip to people who died before being able to play like Cyberpunk because, you know, such a long wait time. I think we said that already, but I'm just thinking about like resolutions in 2020.
Would you argue that 2021 has started off as bad as 2020 started?
I'm optimistic. I feel like no, not really.
I feel like it's already gotten bad. I feel like 2021's already off
I feel
to a
like
bad start.
everybody's looking for something for it to be bad.
I said we wouldn't talk about the drama that's going on right now, and we won't, but I feel like that started my year off pretty bad. Yeah. That made me sad.
But then again, it's pretty inconsequential, I think that's the word, to your personal life.
That's what I'm saying. That's what started the year for me. Like, there wasn't some crazy good thing that started the year. It was neutral. And then we're we're still in the first weekend, and then you get that, and you're like, oh.
Every day is just another day. It doesn't matter if it's a new year or not. I mean, at least to me.
Well, the new year is always supposed to be like the big reset for some people.
I feel like if you need a big reset, something's wrong.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like I can't think of the word that I'm trying to use. It's I really can't think.
To me, a new year is like when you wake up in the morning and you go splash some water in your face and you get like yourself pumped ready for the day. It's like, all right, new day. It's a new start. Shit might have been bad last time or might have been great last time. Let's make it even better. And a new year feels like that.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because we didn't really do anything for New Year's, and this is the first time I've been away from my family for New Year's, and, you know, everybody's more pumped about it and drinking and all of that stuff. I've been pretty alone in the sense of previous years is probably why I feel that way right now.
I feel like New Year's parties suck in general.
Well, yeah, but I've never really been alone. Like, I've always been with family during New Year's and Christmas. So, it was...
Did you think this was a better or worse New Year's than if you were with your family?
Not really. I don't really like alcohol culture and, like, drinking culture. It's like, yo, let's go get drunk. I don't know. It just seems kind of stupid to me.
It is pretty dumb. It's some dumbass stuff. All right. I guess my next topic is me talking kind of to myself about how it's like to have my wisdom teeth removed.
Okay.
Because if you don't know, that's why we took an extra week off, because I could not talk, or at least not very well. Opening my mouth, I had a lot of pain. I got big ass holes in my gums right now. Not really a big fan of it. I had to eat nothing but yogurt and pudding for like 3 or 4 days, which wasn't very fun. I fucking destroyed a thing of mashed potatoes in the first 2 days.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that had flavor, man. Eating just yogurt is so unsatisfying because it tastes good, but it doesn't fill you up.
I ate all my yogurt, like, I think the first or second day that I had it.
Actually, now I think about it, we didn't start with a food topic, did we? Oh, we should.
Do we have a food topic?
I have one written down, but I forgot to start with it.
Okay.
Should I go with my food topic instead?
Well, finish your thought, and then we'll move on to it.
Wisdom teeth being removed was not very pleasant. Pain-wise, it wasn't that bad, because they put me to sleep or they didn't even put me to sleep. They drugged me, so I didn't remember any of the operation. And they drugged me up, so I didn't really feel any of it, but like there was just blood coming out of my mouth constantly. And when I was riding back in the car and had to get out of the car because we stopped at my mom's house for a little bit, I just coughed up a bunch of blood on the ground.
Yeah.
And we left.
And all over the car and
yeah, there was a lot of just blood everywhere. And it wasn't very fun.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, you were very terrified about going under.
Yeah, I hate weird phobia of mine. For people who don't know, I have a phobia of being put to sleep, like due to like any sort of drugs or in any way, because I'm afraid of what I'm not there for. Yeah. And it's a weird kind of fear that may sound irrational and people might think I'm stupid for it, which I can understand, but I'm terrified of what I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like most people really love sleep, which for me mostly, but because of like my headaches and my migraines, I've had quite a complicated relationship with it within like recent months, that sort of thing. So it's a bit difficult for me to sleep.
I hate going to sleep, even though I can sleep so easily and well for the most part.
Yeah, it pisses me off so much.
I still don't get why.
It's just so offensive to me.
That I can sleep so easily?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You're always just like, relax, and
you have to relax.
I can't. I don't think I physically can.
And this is coming from someone who's afraid of sleeping, but I can still. I'm like, fuck it, man. I just got to do it.
Like, I don't think I physically can relax unless I am forced to under some sort of influence / whatever drug.
So if you're drugged up, then you can sleep. That's pretty strange.
Yeah. I always wake up when I'm sleeping. I can never get like a full night's sleep. I always move around and I wake up.
That's one thing that scared me about you, because anytime I sleep and you leave to go do something and I wake up and I notice that change, I'm like, what the fuck? She got up and left and came back. It's really weird.
What do you... What?
Like, what was it? The whole window thing where we were sleeping and I woke up and I was freezing my ass off because you opened up the window.
Yeah.
And then there was another time where I woke up and I came in here and I think you cleaned the whole room and I was like, what the fuck?
So you're afraid of me existing while you're asleep?
Yes. That's where my fear comes from, is the idea that other people can exist when I'm not here. That's where my fear comes from. Yeah, that other
Pear wakes up and the room is clean. He shits himself.
Like that, I know. Like I said, I know it sounds stupid, but that is legitimately what I'm afraid of. The idea that I'm just not there for something.
I've always really liked that in my family. Me going to sleep, and my dad is such an... He just does things. Like, I know that sounds weird, just like, oh, yeah, well, he does things. But he just, like...
He hit different.
Yeah, he hit different. He just does what he wants, whenever he wants. Pretty much most of the time. So, like, one day, the living room will be dirty, and, you know, whatever. Next day, there's probably, like, new furniture. All the old furniture is moved around. Like, everything about the living room has changed.
I would hate that.
He does that all the time.
Is that why you moved around the room a little bit?
Yeah, it's because of him. He's done that ever since I'm little. So every time something starts to feel stagnant for me, I'm like, I gotta change it.
Oh, that shit bugs the fuck out. I hate that.
But the thing about that for me is I also hate change. I hate it at the same time. But it's such a conflicting thing where it's like, I need to at least try it. You need to change your environment, but you hate when things change. Yeah. What the fuck is it? You are the strangest person I know when it comes to, like, minor things that really aren't a big deal, but then you turn them into the most complicated thing in the world. Yeah. This is how it is. I don't know.
Oh, man, Darla, how's this pizza sauce? Oh, it's all right. Okay, good. 20 minutes later, when pizza's done. Oh, man, this is so bland, but it's so too overpowering. I think I was thinking about the cheese, but that's different, though, because it's actually on the pizza and it was cooked, like, baked into the pizza. I want to make more pizza. Oh, my God. You didn't even eat the pizza that's down there. There's still yours. There's still a pizza down there? Yeah. You never ate yours. It's still in there. I thought you ate it. No. Why would I eat it? Because it has sausage on it a little bit. There's 3 pieces of sausage. I thought you might have eaten it, but I'll probably eat it. And Dad bought some minor groceries that I noticed, too. What did he buy? Just a lot of sweets and stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's just a bunch of sweets. I don't know where he got them from. Fuck, what were we talking about? Shit. We were talking about, I don't remember. Fuck. We were talking about, this is the best podcast. Being weird. Me being really weird. Oh, yeah, you are really fucking weird. What is with you? I don't know. It's just how I've grown up. And a lot of conflicting personality points are within me, I suppose. Oh, that's what I'm excited for. I should have written that down as a topic. I mean, we can talk about it. Yeah, I want to talk about it. I love ReZero so much. Oh, God. But yeah, there's just so many things that I don't understand myself, but it's just how it be. Going back to ReZero. Oh, my God. I don't think I ever told you about this, but did you know the creator of ReZero, like 3 months ago, made, like, this is canon. He made a confirmed breast size tier list for some of the characters. Wait, hold on. That last sentence completely wiped out the rest of the sentence. What did you say? The creator of ReZero, like the author, okay, like 2 or 3 months ago, made a breast tier list or like a list of smallest to largest breast of this characters in ReZero.
Okay.
It was the weirdest thing ever, but I thought it was so funny. I don't know why he did it. He posted it on Twitter. This is just so fucking odd. I think number one was what's her name? It's the chick in the Capitol, who's one of the people who's for the royal election. The red chick.
The red chick.
She has the knight dude with the helmet with her.
Not Felt, is it?
No, it's not Felt.
I don't know who you're talking about.
So, fuck, what's her name?
You watch a lot more ReZero than I do.
I mean, I watched it. We've seen the whole
I
show.
have watched the show once. How many times have you watched it? Exactly.
I've seen season 1 4 times, I think.
Uh-huh.
And season 2 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not that much.
And you know I already have a shit memory, so...
I'll fucking pull up a picture of her.
While you're trying to find about that, my thing for anime, it's kind of like, is it the newest episode of Trash Chest? Where they're talking about how they don't really consume a lot of anime anymore.
No, that was an old episode. I was just playing it in the car.
Oh, okay. But I feel like a lot of the time don't seek out to watch anime because you're pretty much what I get my information from most of the time.
This girl.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember her name. Priscilla. Yeah, she's number 1. She apparently has the biggest breast in the show.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, I just picked a random image of her.
But a lot of my anime content comes from you.
I mean, I'm a big anime guy.
Yeah, but I have a hard time watching shows by myself. So, yeah. Watching new movies, watching shows by myself, basically consuming any sort of new media.
Well, to segue into the next topic, you know what media that we can both consume that even though neither of us know anything about it, we're looking forward to, or at least I am, sort of?
What?
The Mayor show.
Oh, yeah.
I think that, isn't it called Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we already did our review of The Good Place, I'm pretty sure.
It's really good.
Yeah, that show is really good. And the same guy who's in The Good Place made another show that is coming out on Thursday?
Yeah.
I think.
What are they releasing it on? Are we going to be able to watch it?
I think it's just on the streaming service. I think it's supposed to air on TV, so I'm imagining it'll be uploaded on Hulu or something.
Hopefully it's on Hulu. Because if it's on Netflix, it's going to take a while, and if it's on anywhere else, we're going to have to,
But he was really good in The Good Place, so I'm looking forward to seeing what else he can do, because he's a good lead actor.
Yeah. Hopefully he has some range.
Go ahead.
I was just kind of going back to our previous topic, I think, about me not consuming media very well. But one of my favorite things that I get obsessed with, I think about all the time, is a book that nobody knows about. And it's so frustrating because, I don't get obsessed with things very often. I don't actively want more of something a lot of the time. So, ReZero, I like it a lot, and I'm excited for new stuff, but I already know new stuff is coming out. It's just frustrating because there's nothing. There's not a fandom, an active fandom. I communicated with a cosplayer today, just because she cosplayed one of the characters, and I was like, oh, your character is so cute. I love it. And she saw one of the drawings I did from the book, and she's like, oh, I love your art style, blah, blah, blah.
What book is it again?
It's called The Daughter of Smoke and Bone. But I feel really embarrassed talking about it. I'm just more talking about the concept of me being obsessed with something that nobody talks about, and it's frustrating.
What's the book about?
Okay. So, I've tried thinking about a way to talk about it without it sounding dumb.
What's the book about?
I'm trying to talk about it.
I know how bad you wanted to talk about this in the podcast.
Yeah, well, not specifically on the podcast, but yeah. So, basically, it's a kind of an enemies to lovers romance, sort of. But what I like about...
You didn't like that. I don't know if the recording just picked up. My dog just woofed at me.
Oof. But what I like about it is that the romance feels intertwined with the story. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, you know... it feels like it's part of the story instead of kind of a subplot or something that could be... What? Could be written out entirely.
I'm just pairing it up over here.
But basically, there's this girl. She lives in Prague. And, you know, people are like, hey, you're kind of weird. And she's like, yeah. And she's, like, an artist, and she draws, like, monsters and stuff. And they're like, how do you come... What?
I'm not saying it. I'm just sitting here.
I can see you smiling.
I was cleaning my glasses. What do you want me to do?
I can see you smiling. It's making me embarrassed.
I'm sorry that I'm just happy to record this show.
Yeah, okay.
I'm happy we're back.
Yeah, okay. But she draws these monsters, and everybody's like, wow, how do you come up with this? And she's like, oh, it's just my everyday life. And so, you know, that's actually her family, that she lives like a double life, sort of. And dog just dropped. It's also kind of a mystery, because she doesn't even really know where she's from or what she is, because she's grown up with monsters, but she is a human to what she thinks, you know?
So it's Percy Jackson.
I don't know. I've never...
Oh, that's right. You read Percy Jackson.
Kind of, but...
You've kind of read Percy Jackson?
No, I'm talking about what you've told me. I think it's sort of like that. But, yeah, so another basic descriptor is angels versus demons, but the demons are the good guys. They're actually chimera, though.
Oh, man, I love Hell of a Boss.
No!
I love Has Been Hotel.
But
that's a great book.
There's, like, different races of chimera, and there's a whole secret subplot about the girl's, like, father figure.
You're going to spoil the book right now?
No. I'm trying to be very specific about what I say, because there's big plot twists.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if it's... I read it in middle school, so I don't know if it's obvious or not. But, yeah, and then there's this angel that comes down, and he's like, yo, I'm going to kill you because of what you did to the angels, because there's a war or whatever.
This sounds exactly like Percy Jackson.
Really?
This, like dead on. That sounds like the very first Percy Jackson book, The Lightning Thief.
But then they're like, yo, you're my enemy, but, like, I love you, though. And then, yeah. That's basically all I can really say without giving too much into it. Besides, like, the minor details about, like, friend subplots and stuff.
Well, you ready to go to the next topic, or do you want to keep booking it up?
Yeah.
Okay, so since we didn't have the previous episode during Christmas, did you get any cool Christmas gifts? What'd you get?
Candy.
That was your cool Christmas gifts. Awesome.
I mean, I got a stand for my tablet, and it's really cool. I like it a lot.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So yeah, I no one else got anything else, so you know.
You got me stuff before Christmas, so I forgot that it was like my Christmas gift. But I got my Miku game stuff. I like to play rhythm games, specifically Project Diva with like Vocaloid and stuff. And he got me like $100 worth of like Miku DLC. And
yeah, that random guy.
Pear did.
Sounds like a good guy.
I forgot it was like your Christmas gift. Like I had it in the back of mine as like a gift, but it was like 2 or 3 months before actual Christmas. So like I was thinking the week of Christmas, you know, Christmas gifts.
The only thing I also just got candy, but the best gift I got was a poster of Act 2, The Father of Death. It's a custom-made poster of the album cover for Light Up the Night from the Protomen, which is a group I really like.
Yeah, who'd you get it from?
Fucking, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It was sent to our P.O. box if you want to send us stuff.
No.
Yeah, we're making a P.O. box.
No, we're not. Shut up.
I would be down to do that in the future if we were to give it.
Well, yeah.
Actually, if a single person listened to us, I'd be down to do that.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not like, Gretzko, where it's...
Gretzko?
Yeah, I think it's season 3 with the idols and the stalker.
Oh, yeah. I'd even be okay with that, to be honest.
You'd be okay with someone sending us, like, a bomb in the mail?
Oh, that's different than a stalker. That's called a terrorist.
Well, I'm talking about, like, a crazy, somewhat sort of fan just being dangerous.
I feel like this is going to be weird as shit. I would be fine with having a stalker if it's not, like, the really, really more fucked up stalkers. Like, the ones who fucking collect your hair or some crazy shit.
Most of my friends have had stalkers, but I've never had a stalker. I don't know if that's, like, a normal thing, but...
Stalkers are normal.
I don't know, because it seems like a lot of my friends that, back home, they had stalkers, and I'm just like, I've never had a stalker, so I don't know if that's, like, normal or not.
Next topic. So, I guess since it's the New Year, we should talk about the future of the podcast.
Okay, sure.
We are planning to make a highlights channel, if possible.
Yeah.
Right now we have Avocado working on that kind of stuff, although he's been inactive due to some complications with his mom that we will not get into. But if that gets released, hopefully that'll bring in some revenue or something cool. Some viewers.
Yeah.
To just cut up stuff into short, divisive content for people to digest. Do you have any future plans with this podcast you can think of?
Not entirely with the podcast, though. I want to do my own stuff. Like, I want to do content creation of my own.
That's what I'm looking for. I've already found out my name now after we talked about it when we were playing SoulCal.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah. Is it the same as on the thing?
It's
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. Do you have a one in mind already?
No.
I wrote a list of a couple of ideas for my thing when I decided to do it because you motivated me to.
Not really. I'm probably going to do my main stuff on my alias I go under by now.
Oh, yeah.
And then do sub-projects under different names. Just because I feel like, you can have a bunch of people under a bunch of, like, different... My mind is going faster than my mouth right now. It's hard to... coherent. But... all those channels under, like, the same name. That it's like, oh, this channel's under this person, and they all do different things, but it's all one person, right?
Yeah.
That's fine, but I feel like being separated is also a good thing. Because, I feel like I talk about her a lot, but Jenna Marbles, she used to do a lot of videos with her boyfriend. And, that's fine. It's cool. But when she left, and before that, people would always go onto his channel and be like, that's Jenna Marbles' boyfriend. That's Jenna Marbles' boyfriend. But now, more so that she's almost been gone for about a year, people are kind of bringing into the identity of him being himself, Julian. But, I feel like I want to have a little bit of freedom in the sense of my identities, because internet, it's bullshit,
Yeah.
And not quite personas, but I feel like I want to take up... I don't want to feel like I have to be limited to one persona of how I want to act on certain platforms.
Like, you don't want to only do art stuff?
Yeah. Like...
That's how I feel about my stop motion.
Enthusiastic about something, or I'm slightly differently enthusiastic... Like, I'm kind of getting more, like, hyped up talking about this, But,
I mean, it's fine. This is our first episode back, so neither of us are doing a very good job.
The different types of enthusiasm, like somebody can be angry enthusiastic, happy
I don't know what you're talking about now.
Like, I aggressively like this topic, or I really like this topic.
Oh, yeah?
I want to be able to be different if I want to. I don't know if that's kind of bad to kind of want to be different people, But I want that freedom to be able to...
You want multiple different channels and people don't know that they're your other channels.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Just because, like, I want to do my own stuff. Like, I don't want to be known for other things on certain things. You know? Like, oh, it's the art person. But this is my whatever channel. I don't want to talk about art on this channel, you know? Or this is my...
That's how I feel about my stuff, too, yeah. I want Pear at this channel. Fuck!
You don't...
Yeah, but I want that, and I'm not going to cut that. Fuck it. Yeah, and then my stop motion channel, as well as this channel.
Alright.
I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at podcasting. Next topic. Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel.
Bad.
What?
I already said it was bad.
Not in the podcast, so I'm shocked now.
Yeah, okay.
I thought it was really fun.
It's fun, I guess, but it's so bad.
So yeah, for those of you who don't know, there was a Shark Boy and Lava Girl sequel announced. It's called We Are Hero, or We Will Be Heroes.
We can be heroes.
Something like that.
Ooh.
And it's a soft sequel, if not reboot sequel, to the original.
It doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
to the continuity, but...
Yeah, you might as well just watch it by itself without watching Shark Boy and Lava Girl, because...
They're barely in it.
Well, not only that they're barely in it, but... Like you were saying, continuity-wise, it doesn't make sense, because in Shark Boy and Lava Girl, the whole point of the movie was that they were imaginary.
Yeah.
That they weren't real, and it was about, like, you know, imagination and shit. But in here, they're just normal superheroes that everyone just knows about.
Yeah. Max wasn't even mentioned.
Yeah, Max was never mentioned. Shark Boy didn't have a single line of dialogue in the entire movie.
Yeah.
He had grunts and noises, but he never had a single line.
Yeah.
Which made me not very happy.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Shark
he was
noise.
like a fighting game character. Fucking. The effects were bad, but of course they were. They're always going to be bad in these kind of movies.
Yeah.
The story is fun for kids.
They're already working on a sequel to this movie. I saw news
Oh,
about
like
it.
it's confirmed?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Already.
I think it's because this was like #1 on trending for Netflix for a few days. It was pretty popular.
Yeah.
For good reason. It was very fun. I had a really good time watching. It was like every 5 to 10 seconds, I just couldn't believe something they would say. I think my best time when we were watching it together was the wheels scene.
As soon as you said that, I was like...
the intro scene of a kid in a wheelchair.
Hey, I'm Wheels.
We both just went, no, you didn't.
Oh boy.
It was so fucking funny.
That reminded me of something, but go on.
I think the whole movie was meant for like people, like adults who had seen this as a kid and realized how cheesy and dumb it was going to be, but had a good time because of fond memories and gags.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it for that reason.
Like, how... Because I'm pretty sure this is directed by the same person as Spy Kids, right?
Yeah.
How do they always get, like, A-list actors in these? And half the time they don't even look like they're having a good time.
Who would have a good time in a little shitty kids movie?
But why get all these big-name actors in there, though?
It's for the adults to be like, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, like the Steve Buscemi. I've never been able to confidently pronounce his last name. Buscemi.
This movie felt like it was more of a sequel to Spy Kids than Shark Boy and Lava Girl to me.
Yeah. It felt like it was in the same universe.
It's so strange that, like, every one of these movies, Spy Kids, I guess, is, like, following a Mexican family of kids that are superheroes and all that kind of stuff, and they start off the same premise. It's like, you have the overly, like, I'd say almost stereotypical, soft, not racist, but, like, you're getting there with, like, oh, it's grandma, let's call her, like, fucking, what do they say? Fuck. Oh, what do they call her?
Abuelita.
Yeah, they
just
always
means grandma.
I know, but like they always say that even though through the whole movie they're speaking in English and shit like that, and they just use Spanish. It's like in part 5, the dub. Just randomly say an Italian word, now you're Italian.
Well, one, it's sort of, not pronouns specifically, but title. Because, that is grandma, but she is Spanish, Mexican, whatever, so she is abuelita. So she's abuela.
I'm not saying it's not wrong, but it's like if they were Mexican and then she used the French name or for grandma or something like that. It just seems weird and random to bring up anyway, because you're speaking in a language that we would already normally understand, but then for no reason in the movie you're like, oh, look, it's abuelita, even though you could just say, oh, it's grandma, and you would get the same reaction.
She's not grandma, she's abuelita.
Yeah, but why?
Because that's her. She's not, she's not white.
Does she need to be white to just be a grandma?
There's some names that, are English and other languages that it'd be weird to go back to its origins and just be like, oh, hi, Bob, Robert,
I'm not saying using the grandma's real name. I'm just saying call her grandma instead of using the Spanish word for grandma when the rest of the movie...
She is Spanish, so she's probably always been she's Mexican, so she's probably always been referred to as abuelita or abuela.
But this is a dumb little kid's movie. You're thinking too much. I think it's just dumb to do stuff like that.
In Superstore, Mateo and his aunt, they call her Tia, whatever her name is. And even Marcus calls her Tia, because that is aunt in Tagalog.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just nitpicking about stuff like that. I think it's pointless to do. It just seems strange to me. It weirdly takes me out of movies sometimes when a character will speaking one language and then immediately shift to another one for no reason.
Also, Hakai.
What about Hakai?
Hakai.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say destroy.
Yeah, I guess you're right about that, but for that one, it's more of a case of it sounds cooler if you say it in Japanese as an English speaker than if you say destroy.
Yeah. That's cool reasons, but...
It sounds cool instead of just, abuelita, oh, hey, grandma.
I studied.
Yeah, but I love you still sounds fine. It's not like it sounds bad.
The context means something, I feel like.
I don't agree with that. The way you can say something can have an impact to it that changes your feelings on the way the word is said, but the language to me doesn't affect that.
My grandma, we refer to her as Nana. That's what we call her. Yes, she is a grandma, but we refer to her as Nana.
Okay.
So that's basically the same thing.
I guess.
I mean...
There's no way I can really fight against this. It's just how I feel that I think it's weird.
I understand when... in movies or shows when they say the same phrase twice in different languages. I've seen that so many times, and I don't know why it pisses me off right now. Or so much. I don't want to say it right now. Words.
I think, like I said, I think the reason it takes me out is because I've seen so many movies. I don't know why this is the first one that came into my head. The Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie where Shredder is first, through the intro, through like his introduction, he's only talking in Japanese, but after the scene he's introduced to, he's only speaking in English, even though he's talking to his daughter who only speaks Japanese.
Weird.
So it's like, what the fuck?
I don't know, I've never paid attention to those movies, but I think it's kind of like, shit, what was I going to say? I had something. I'm so mad. Abuelita. Oh, in the context of Spanish-speaking people, it makes sense because you didn't like
That's
that.
how I feel.
If you have a bunch of white kids who don't know this grandma, it maybe it's a little weird, but it's like, hey, this is abuelita. This is my grandma. Just abuelita, whatever, or abuela. I feel like I'm pretty sure abuelita means tiny grandma. Because Ita means small, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But in the case of people who speak other languages, sometimes they just say stuff in other languages because that's just how their brain works.
Okay.
Like, I've seen so many, because I, live in a mostly Spanish, Mexican populated area.
Yeah.
Where...
Mexico.
A lot of people who, know both, especially if Spanish is their first language, they will switch back and forth unintentionally because their brain, apple. They just think of the word apple, but it's, I don't know. Why did I say apple? I guess avocado, just because I know what that means. I went to the store and I got aguacate, which is avocado. Your brain just instantly bridges the gap between languages, even if it's not technically correct, if you know other languages. Like, I've heard so many conversations at the salon that I worked at that between two Spanish-speaking people and, they also know English, they'll go back and forth and they don't bat an eye. It's like, oh, English, Spanish, English. Like, it'll go back and forth and they don't think about it.
So it's almost as that some languages' words just sound better, so you switch back and forth between the bilingual people to see what sounds cooler.
No, it's just how their brains connect words. Because, like, if you're learning a language and you are, talking in that language you're learning, you don't know all the words. So you're like, hi, I'm this person. I'm having a great day. I'm trying to get to I don't know what the word is in English, but, Can
I just say I love how we switched over from Shark Boy and Lava Girl to language culture?
Because you were like, they think it's really weird that they called her abuela.
Yeah, like I said, for me it's just a pet peeve in movies that I think is really fucking dumb.
I don't know. I feel like that's not...
So for me, I want my whole movie in one language, even if it's not my own. Give me subtitles.
Oh, boy.
But don't switch back and forth between them because it's obnoxious.
Okay.
Imagine you're watching an anime and it's all in Japanese, and then every once in a while they just have one line of dialogue in English.
What about that one show that you were watching, that love story where he was trying to teach her English, and she was like, I am, they were talking in English.
Love story? What are you talking about?
It was like a harem romance. The main guy kind of looks like Kama, and she was trying to teach her English for, like, English class or whatever.
Are you talking about Boktachi? We never learn?
I think so, yeah.
The one,
they were
there's a blue hair girl, a red hair girl who's tan, and a blonde girl.
But the main character, I think, looks like Kama.
He does look like Kama.
Yeah, okay. He was trying to teach one of the girls, English, so they were talking in English, and they were talking to English speakers, well, supposedly English speakers, because, and they're like, hello,
Yeah, but that works for the premise of the scene because their whole point is studying for English for a class, not like, oh, we're just having a normal conversation. By the way, I'm just going to switch over to English for some reason. Now I'm speaking in Japanese. Now I'm in English.
But it's just like, you learn all these common words. It's like, apple. Okay, I'm in America, I'm going to say apple. But referring to someone you already know, like, oh, it's Tio Anthony or something like that, instead of Uncle Anthony, because that's what feels natural to you, because you've grown up saying, hey, it's Tio, instead of, hey, it's Uncle.
Like,
so her being like, hey, this is my abuela.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you keep focusing too much on this movie. Like I said, as a whole, it's a pet peeve of mine because of other movies doing it, where it seems really dumb. Yeah. And this, I guess it's whatever, because it's a child actor anyway, so who gives a shit? But, like, this case is because of other movies of characters who switch back and forth from English and another language for no reason other than, well, it's cool if we do long pauses and then I switch to another language. Even though it doesn't make any sense.
People just talk. They just do be talking.
Imagine we're having a normal conversation here in English, and then I pause and I'm like, oh, gold one on eye. So, like, what the fuck? Why?
I mean, some people do that to avoid being overheard if they're talking to specific people.
Yeah, but most of the time in movies, it's like a one-on-one conversation. Like an evil guy, master plan, is talking to his co-evil person. And then they're like, oh, yes, we're speaking in our language. But
that's what I mean, like...
And then I'll say one word and be like, kill the good guy.
That's what I'm talking about, or it's like, they just go back and forth and they don't really think about it.
I still think it's cheesy and dumb.
I don't know. I just feel... I get that it's trying to be dramatic, but it's how it is. That's how people talk.
I don't know.
Like I said, the only thing I don't like about when it comes to language is when it's like, oh, mi amor, my love. When it's talking to one person and they just repeat the same thing in different languages. That's the only thing that I don't like. What?
I don't feel like I've seen that very often, but...
I feel like I've seen that so many times.
For me, it's just the annoyance of switching over languages for no reason other than, well, it sounds cool. I've seen so many dumb... I think it's because of my mom showing me so many fucking dumbass spy movies when I was a little kid. Just every time, it's like a villain who's from, like, Russia or something, and then they're speaking Russian, and then for no reason at all, they'll switch over to English for their last line of dialogue before it does a cut to, like, the hero invading their area or some shit.
Well, I don't watch action movies, and...
That's why it's a pet peeve of mine. It's because I see dumb shit like that every fucking action movie.
And that's probably why I don't see it a lot. Is because I don't like action movies.
That stuff just I don't like them.
No, I've never been forced to. My dad watched horror movies and rom-coms for some reason. He really liked rom-coms. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I like rom-com.
No, it's just weird because
boy.
of my dad. You know, you don't think, but he likes horror movies, and you know that Adam Sandler 50 First Dates one that I showed you.
Yeah.
He's watched that so many times. Like,
that was a good movie.
Yeah, I really like that movie. But, that's the stuff that I always watch. Comedy, rom-coms, and horror movies. Because that's, like, the only thing...
Okay, then maybe I need to tell you this in a scenario that wouldn't be an action movie. Let's say you're watching, like, the new Halloween movie, right?
Okay.
That's Michael Myers, I think, right? I am so uneducated. So, yeah, Michael Myers is murdering some guy.
Okay.
And... right before he murders him, he's like, "No hablo inglés," and then murders his ass or some shit. And how fucking weird that would take you out of the scene.
Yeah.
And it's like you have this and
Michael
the guy
doesn't talk, so.
and the guy who's being murdered speaks perfect English, just normally fine. They're not even in Mexico or they're not in any place that would have like another language, and everyone's just speaking normal. And then out of nowhere, one character is just like, "Oh yes, oh just fucking." Just, I don't know what the other language is, so I don't want to say anything and get people upset. But yeah, he just speaks another language and just kills this dude.
I mean, a lot of the time, it seems like they don't give a fuck about the languages that they're using. Especially if it's an Asian language, they usually just put in gibberish because they don't give a fuck. If it's not, like, Spanish or pretty much just Spanish, a lot of the time, they don't give a fuck if it's an actual language. They're just like, habba-da-baba, habba-da-da.
And sometimes, too, it's like an area thing I've seen in a movie where it's like when you think... Because I always try to bring some sort of realism to a lot of the things I consume. So, like, let's say you're watching the new Marvel movie.
Okay.
And I guess this wouldn't work with recent time, but Captain America, let's say he's going to Japan for some reason.
Okay.
And then he goes up to a random Japanese person and they start talking in English.
I mean...
Then it'd be like...
That's
what?
Suspension of disbelief, because it's like a lot of the time they just have English people in whatever or people speaking English wherever, so they don't have to worry about that. Sometimes they try to add realism into it, like the Turtles movie, where it's like, oh, we were colonized by these white people, so we know how to speak English.
That was so fucking dumb. The third Turtles movie is so bad. So yes, of course, all Asian people in this region would obviously know fluent English.
But in a place like Japan, since you specifically said Japan, it seems like the culture is to know English. Especially around touristy areas.
Well, okay, that's with my example. But if you put that in any other region and area, then weird. It doesn't work.
If you go to, I don't want to say Africa.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. It really depends on where you go. But if you're in just some, like, bumfuck nowhere.
But that's what I feel like I see, though, is just a character who's the lead, who speaks English or something, goes to another place or something... And even though those people should obviously not be able to talk to each other, it just magically works. Yeah, that's what ReZero does really well. Back to ReZero, because he goes to the world, he doesn't know their fucking language, and he has to learn how to read and write and everything. And he has that whole bit.
It's pretty funny that they can speak perfectly fine, but they can't write.
In ReZero?
Yeah.
I think it's because, like I was saying, possible spoilers to ReZero, by the way, because I've read a little bit of the light novel. Or not light novel, the web novel.
Manga?
No, web novel.
Oh, okay.
This has to do with the REM side story.
Yeah, okay.
Remember what I was telling you that there's a bit in there. So for those of you who don't know of ReZero, there's a side story with REM through a different route where if Subaru and REM ended up together, And there's a line of dialogue that Subaru says that some of the buildings are similar to Japanese architect, and he's wondering if people before him maybe had the same situation where they came into this world and sculpted the world that he's living in now as Japanese people or people from other parts of the world. So it could be that maybe a Japanese person who had his same experience came here and through the course of time they learned the dialect or something.
Yeah. Languages evolve a lot too, though, because like we supposedly even just like in the 90s or 70s they talked a lot different, and you go back to the 40s, you know, that movie accent where they're kind of like this, you know, they kind of got a step in their voice and they're talking very dramatically. That's like the movie accent, you know. So it's just weird.
The Roaring Twenties.
The Hallister.
Anyway, I thought the Shark Boy and Lava Girl movie was fun, even though it was dumb as shit.
Yeah. It
was funny, and if you like dumb movies, dumb kids movies, you'll have a good time watching this.
Yeah.
Final topic I got is going to take us a little bit. Do you want to do it?
What is it?
It's dead.
Dead?
Yeah, and it's walking.
Oh, sure.
So we, over the course of the break, watched The Walking Dead.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think we ever started talking about it on a podcast. So we have
Christmas.
We have 8 seasons to talk about.
We talked up to the governor, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah, you're right. We did talk about it a little bit, didn't we?
We talked about how Andrea is the worst.
I guess I'll do a short how I thought about seasons 1 through 3 or something then. Season 1 was actually a pretty good start. Mm-hmm. Season 2 wasn't very good. Season 3 was pretty good. Season 4 was fine. It was alright. It wasn't as bad as season 2. I got an email from my anime list saying that ReZero is about to start airing.
You're so cute.
No.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, we're up to season 8 now, or season 9 or something. And I think
we're on 9.
I think only just now has it started to get really bad for me.
Yeah. It's getting very sluggy.
I think the show peaked at Negan and should have ended there.
Yeah.
Negan was pretty cool. I liked most of the stuff.
The fact that they killed off so many characters because they were part of Negan's group but kept Negan alive is really baffling to me.
So yeah, I guess spoilers for The Walking Dead if you fucking even give a shit. So the whole Negan arc, my review of it, I think it was awesome. My only complaint really, it was a tad too long.
Yeah.
You could have maybe cut out 5 or 6 episodes of it, because it feels like you're sitting there, and there's sometimes where it feels like the characters just aren't doing anything because they can't. I liked the real miserable feeling that was going on for a while.
Yeah, especially in the beginning.
Like, yeah, because you get, like, word the fuck. I feel like when it's...
Easy Street.
Yeah, I feel like when it starts to really slow down in the arc is, like, when they start planning to take out Negan and shit. When they finally, like, all right, let's do it.
All right, we've got our confidence back.
Yeah.
Let's take back our
Right then is where I'm like, you could cut out an episode or two because it's just a bunch of nonsense. And then the other thing I don't really like about the Negan arc is I think the ending is kind of shaky.
Yeah.
It's a little bit hit and miss. So, and I don't mean like the ending, the very end of the arc. I mean like the last 5 to 6 episodes with the random girl showing up, the woman showing up with her 2 kids and being like, George, yes, I'm a random MacGuffin. Here's a shit ton of food. And then she leaves.
Here's just like what you need, bro.
Yeah, here's like what you need to survive. Go nuts.
We don't need anything from you, really.
Yeah, and then Maggie just straight up leaves and is, I guess, now just gone.
I'm so upset about time skips that explain almost nothing.
I want to get into season 9. Holy shit, season 9 has the worst opening for a TV show I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So, season 9 opens up. So, how season 8 ends, pretty much. Carl's dead. Sucks.
Yeah.
I think his death wasn't very good, to be honest. I didn't feel it as much. And he felt really out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Governor's alive. and he's in prison. All the cities are united, and they're all like a big happy group of colonies.
Yeah, but they got a little bit of tension.
Yeah, and then so season 9 opens up. One of the colonies just doesn't exist anymore because they hated working for them, and they quit. Carol got married to the fucking Ezekiel, and now have an adopted kid.
I feel like you have to mention before you go on too far, is that 2 to 3 episodes ago, there was already a time skip.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago, there was a time skip.
And then they skipped 7 years into it. Now continue about...
Yeah, Carol and Ezekiel got married off screen and now have an adopted kid named Henry, who was in the previous arc. Daryl just lives in the forest and gave up on everybody
with a dog
because he's depressed. Yeah, he got a dog off screen
that they call Dog.
Fucking what's her Judith? Judith's like
10
years old and is out doing shit and shooting guns and all this.
And as aforementioned, Michonne was apparently pregnant with Rick's child, and it just randomly had a kid that they were just like, hey RJ, and you're like, who's RJ? And it turns out that's fucking Rick Jr.
Dude,
they mentioned so offhandedly.
The entire season and prior seasons, we didn't see them like hook up, but we saw them get together after the fact. It kind of just skipped, and they did a time skip basically where Michonne and Rick were already dating, which was already kind of fucked up because you wanted to see them get together and how it would happen.
Yeah.
And then they just do a big cut to, oh, I guess she was pregnant. You never find that out. I guess she was pregnant for some reason, had a kid off screen, and now he's just here.
And Maggie disappeared off screen. They don't really tell you about that.
Yeah, and Maggie was pregnant, and then it just skips to after she had a kid, and his name is Herschel, by the way. You never actually see him on screen, I think. Oh, no, he's in a baby carriage in, like, one scene. And Maggie just left the show.
So
she just dipped.
There's a time skip to where she has the baby. And then there's the time skip to, that little tiny bit where there's a little bit of conflict where Rick dies. And then the time skip, she's gone.
and it gets even worse. And then there's, like, time skips that, in context, don't make any sense. Like, fucking Jesus and Aaron randomly getting together. I think they've had maybe one conversation in the past, like, 3
You need
seasons.
To show us this. And
I didn't know, but Mango told me after the fact that they hooked up in the comics, so it just needed to happen.
Yeah, it was a quota.
So I'm like, what the fuck happened?
I just want to reiterate, I'm not upset that they are gay.
Sam, yeah, I don't care if they're gay.
You
need to lead into something like that.
They needed to get to B, but they didn't. They skipped over A and C, or they needed to get to C and they skipped over A and B.
Like these characters that have maybe talked one time, just suddenly, oh yeah, we're together now, and fuck, we might be married and whatever the fuck. It's like every character got married, hooked up, whatever. Now have like 4 kids, and you just have to accept it.
Yeah,
now.
And Aaron adopted off-screen Gracie, pretty much.
Oh yeah, and Judith and Negan are like sort of friends, not really, kind of, and he helps her with her homework, and it's fucking weird. And Michonne's like super emo because of the Rick shit, and that's like the only one that feels let into.
Yeah,
is because of course she would be emo.
Yeah, and we're about to get into the Whisperer shit, which I don't know if it's actually good or bad. I just know that the concept of it is a thing.
I don't know, man. This season has started off so poorly due to, like, all this shit that just happened off fucking screen that I can't be excited for this.
Yeah.
So, arc-wise, very first arc of Walking Dead was the farm. The farm arc was...
Farm?
It wasn't a farm?
No, there was, like, the CDC.
What's the CDC?
What?
What's the CDC?
Where they blew it up. The scientist guy.
Oh, I was combining all that kind of stuff together.
Okay.
I guess the scientist guy I'd give that like arc a 7.5 out of 10. Farm shit was like a 5, maybe lower.
Yeah.
I didn't really like a lot of the farm stuff. The prison arc was like a 7. I'd give it a 7 as well.
Andrea fucking sucks, but
Andrea's-
the governor is pretty good.
Andrea's so bad. I feel like now that I like have finished the Negan arc, I feel like the governor is just pre-Negan.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like the author was thinking of how to write Negan the way he wanted, because everything about Negan's arc is like the governor's if it had like no real faults in it. Outside of being too long, there's mid-bosses, and they're all great. Dwight is a great character, and like all the other like kind of fucking commander guys are really fucking interesting and cool.
Yeah,
like you get to see it's a shit ton of world building, because now you have like 4 or 5 different cities and factions you have to worry about. Most of your characters are separated, and it doesn't just feel like, well, now I gotta go find fucking Rick for the billionth time because we got separated.
I'm really glad for that short period of time that everybody was branching out, and even though they were...
Everyone felt like they were doing shit.
Yeah, but then I feel like it's gonna fall apart and everybody's gonna congregate again soon. I don't know.
It was pretty good. Like, I think another kind of downside to the Negan stuff though is like, when I really think of that arc as a whole, everything before Negan is introduced isn't very good.
Yeah.
All of Alexandria shit is what the fuck ever.
I really like after Negan though is he was kind of doing everything right. You know, he was pretty brutal, but he was doing everything right in a sort of weird twisted sense. Like, he was evil as fuck. He was an awful person, but it was keeping people together and alive.
I don't agree with that, but I can understand why you would think that.
And the fact that Rick is basically doing the same thing, but he's like, no, it's different, is pretty funny to me.
I said this a million times to you, but I never said it in the podcast. The Negan arc is just the Frieza saga.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like it so much. Because Negan is so clearly Frieza. All the mid-bosses are like the Ginyu Force and Zarbon and Dodoria. And like, it's just so much building to the final boss, because like every once in a while you have to pick off one of the commanders, get rid of them.
Negan has that asshole charm.
Yeah, he has that like slimy charm to him. Any line of dialogue is given out with just like such like a, oh yeah, oh you're gonna kill me, oh that's gonna be fun. I'm waiting for that, buddy.
Yeah,
like it's just so fun. I think really the only thing about Negan's like character I didn't really like is his introduction with his weird ass dialogue. But after like the first couple lines, he's great. And after that, I don't think there's like a single bad scene with him.
Yeah.
He just steals the show. The actor does a great job.
I originally said I didn't like Negan for like the smallest bit of information, because I only knew about that one scene and the fact that he gets redeemed. And the fact that you start off with that one scene and then you know, oh, he's going to get redeemed, makes me just not like him. Because I don't know. I haven't said on the podcast, but I've watched a lot of the show / seen a lot of the show by proxy. I've never past Prison Arc, 4th season is pretty much my limited knowledge, but past season 3, I've seen everything by proxy. Like, I've never watched past that personally. I've just seen what people talk about, and I've seen like my family watch it. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, yeah. And internet, of course. So I saw Negan kill 2 people and completely break everybody. And then heard that he got redeemed. So just off those 2 points, I did not like him. But actually watching him do all his shit, he's pretty good.
I think the same too, because you told me before we even started that, like, because I saw the intro scene when we were watching the episode. And then you told me he got redeemed, and I was like, what the fuck? I hate this. And now that we're kind of getting to that point where he's not really redeemed
yet,
but I hope we don't get to the point where he's good buddy. I think that's when I'll hate it. I like, because I feel like it was naturally building to the point where he'd be in jail and just like contemplating his life. Because it's not like they weren't teasing that he's kind of like fucked in the head and like he misses his wife and all that shit. Mm-hmm. It's built up a lot with his whole conversation with Gabriel when they're trapped together. and all this shit, and his bat, and he keeps calling it Lucille and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's always like, what is it, guide me, Lucille, and that shit that he always says all the time.
Yeah, Lucille, give me strength.
Yeah, Lucille, give me strength, and all that shit. Like, it's great. It's really good, and I really hope he's not buddy, because that's what I don't like. I think that's why he reminds me so much of Frieza. I wouldn't want to see Frieza being a good guy.
Yeah.
Or an anti-hero, by the way.
His relationship with Carl is kind of half and half for me. Because I feel like it works, but with his death, it kind of puts a strain on that natural progression.
Yeah, to me, it started off really good. I loved the part where he brought Carl into his base and was just like, oh yeah, so look at all this shit. It's pretty cool. You want to join my group?
You're a pretty good badass.
Oh, you're still trying to kill me and shit? Oh, that's pretty neat, kid. Ooh, and he's just like poking him like all the time. It's great. I love it. But then like, I feel like he gets suddenly like really depressed and is like, oh man, Carl's dead. That's fucked. I'm sorry, Rick. I didn't really like that very much.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the line where he's like, I would have loved to have a kid. We would have loved to have a kid like Carl. You know, me and Lucille. I don't know how I feel about that.
I didn't even remember that line until you just brought it up.
He says that to Michonne, I think, after, like, currently in the new, not the new timeline, but the new, what is it? After all the flashbacks, where we're at now, you know? I think he says it to Michonne, or it's either, no, it's before Rick dies, I'm pretty sure. It's where she's trying to get him to eat, and he's like, oh, I would have loved to have a kid like Carl, or me and Lucille would have loved to have a kid like Carl, you know? And I don't know how I feel about that.
Back to season 9, I don't... It's because child actor, but Judith is so annoying.
Like I said, is... that will lead into other points, but they had such a natural progression with Carl becoming Rick, but then they cut all that off and just redid it with Judith with no sort of lead up and no sort of mentor to become Rick. They're trying to make her become Rick, but she doesn't really know who that is. She knows that the father figure, sure, but she is sentient. Sentient? Is that the... Like, she's conscious now. She doesn't really know who that is. In the sense of, like... personality. Like, yeah, that's my dad. But she doesn't know anything about him. And they're like, yeah, this is the new Rick. Are you fucking kidding me? And that comes up with the point of killing the understudies.
Oh, fuck. I should have brought that up, yeah.
Killing the understudies.
It's a weird trend in The Walking Dead. It happens so constantly.
And it's going to happen more. I'm just going to tell you that. We're not...
Oh, you already know it's going to happen more?
I think 2 or 3 more understudies get killed.
So, a weird trend that I noticed... I think I was the one who brought it up when it kept happening.
Yeah, architect.
Yeah, so there's a weird trend in The Walking Dead where some character, it's normally a new character, will have some practical skill that will help out like the whole community of people. Starting off with, what's his name, Noah?
Yeah.
And there's an architect guy who knows how to build a bunch of houses and walls and all this shit. And he's like, I want to learn how to do that. And then Noah fucking dies when he's learning how to do it. And then it happens...
And then the architect dies.
Yeah, and then it happens to like every single understudy in the entire show. Mm-hmm. Is just they'll learn something. The guy the understudy will die, and then most of the time, soon after, the guy who knows the skill will also die.
Yeah, and they never have like more than one person that they're teaching. Because they have to have that sense of, like...
Oh, no, the future's gone.
Even though we just got the MacGuffin character that has all these plans for a bunch of shit.
I want to fucking erase that woman out of the show. Why was she here?
But
why did you just throw in a dumbass MacGuffin like that?
I'm trying to think of other characters, because I know there's more than just Noah, and I'm not trying to spoil the rest for you, because I know who it is.
Stickman.
Yeah,
it happened.
Morgan and I forgot his name. Yeah. Ben.
So then Morgan, he's like a monk basically, teaches this guy how to use the stick and inner peace, and then he dies, And technically, if you want to go by this logic, spoilers, I guess if you haven't watched the spinoff, Morgan is technically also dead because he's a weird half-zombie guy.
Yeah. So, it's frustrating. And I'm pretty sure, I can't think of the other ones besides the two that I'm thinking of, but the newer understudies that we know about, I'm not going to say who they are, but they die. I'm not sure when they do it, if it's going to be this season, but I know that, there's only next season, right?
No, there's 11 seasons in total.
Okay. So it's somewhere between 9 and 11, of course, but they're going to die. I don't know if they're going to pass on their knowledge, but they're going to die.
That's what I want to see. I want to see somebody learn the skill and then, do one thing with it before they fucking die.
Yeah, like I was saying, Rick, Carl, Judith. They're trying to do an understudy thing, but it's not working.
And Carl dies, and he's the understudy of Rick. And now, didn't Carol say that Henry is becoming an understudy for...
his brother, kind of?
No. It was for, being a doctor, I think. He's learning under Sakid. What's his name?
No, that's Enid.
Oh, that's right. Enid's the new doctor. Fuck, Enid's gonna fucking die.
But their son is basically he's basically the Judith of Morgan, if you know what I mean? Because...
Oh, yeah.
It's the same structure. Mm-hmm. They don't really have a reason for him to be the Morgan understudy because of the connection, but he just kind of is in a weird turnabout way.
Because they killed the only other person that makes sense to have it to be them.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, fuck The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting any season from now on to blow me out of the water like the Negan shit did. Mm-hmm. I liked it so much that it might be the only season I come back to watch.
Yeah.
I might watch
skip some clips. Episodes though. Yeah.
And I was thinking about it now. I said earlier in this podcast that I hated his intro of his dialogue. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm thinking about his character, now that I know him now,
you're gonna piss your pants.
I kind of like it because it's so fucking dumb. And I feel like that's what Negan's all about.
You're pissing your pants yet?
We pissing our pants yet? It's just the dumbest line ever. But now that I know him, I'm like, that is something he would say.
Yeah. The concept in death in shows is so weird. Because sometimes, depending on the show, it's not definite, you know? In, superhero movies or action movies, a lot of the time, characters that you thought were dead aren't. In the show like Walking Dead, sometimes that happens, just fake out. But, I don't know. I feel like when characters die, it's a different taste in your mouth than, of course, real death.
I don't think we brought it up the last time we talked about The Walking Dead. I don't even remember what character it was. One of the funniest things that I've seen from The Walking Dead is when a character gets bit and dies, but they die off screen and it just cuts to them being buried.
Yeah, I think that was Dwight's wife's sister, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was so fucking funny. You see her get bit, you never see her die, and it just cuts to them burying her.
She was so insubstantial.
It was so funny. Characters will just die like flies that they won't even show the scene of them dying. They'll just skip to, all right, they're gone now. Whatever.
Can we get more character deaths that aren't just shock value or to meet a quota?
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now.
What?
Glenn isn't a good character.
All right, I can respect that.
I don't know why people liked him so much. Glenn is only fun and interesting when he's angry.
Rick.
That's the only time he's fucking cool is when he's just pissed the fuck off.
Yeah.
Because any other time, all he does is fuck Maggie.
Yeah.
Every scene with Maggie prior to him dying is him just fucking Maggie.
That reminds me. The character of Rosita.
Oh, God, I forgot her existence.
Her only character is to fuck men. And we're getting into the season where she fucks 3 of them and becomes pregnant with one of them. She is literally only a baby maker.
I would have been so much happier if Rosita died instead of Abraham.
Yeah. I feel like Abraham would have done something.
I like Abraham, And it's only because, like, I like how much of a typical, like, brute he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. But Rosita is, like, the most nothing. Why is she here? Why does she need to be here?
She's basically like Chi-Chi. She's just...
That hits me hard. I don't like that.
She's just...
Chi-Chi had relevance in OG Dragon Ball, at least. She did things.
But we're not talking about OG Dragon Ball. We're talking about ZA.
But there's no... I mean, in Z,
she just has kids, and that's it. She's 6.
She yells at Goku.
She yells at Eugene.
I'm trying to think of a single thing. She slapped Super Boo. That was kind of neat. I like that scene in Z. She did because she thought that Super Boo killed Gohan and was really upset about it. And
I'm trying to think of anything Rosita has done other than have sex.
Hey, man, at least Chi-Chi slapped one of the main villains because of how angry she was, even though she knew she would die because of it.
I'm also tired of Terra. I'm so tired of Terra.
Terra's fucking annoying.
Would you be happy to know that she dies? I don't know when she died.
Actually, I had a feeling she would die.
I kind of know when she dies in the relevance of other character deaths, but I don't know the exact point in time.
I already know that Jesus dies, and I'm not happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about that at all. I wonder if Aaron dies.
I don't know.
So,
I don't remember him.
It's so fucking funny that you don't remember.
Let me explain. So, like I said, I've watched the show in proxy a lot and seen a lot on, like, the internet. I thought Aaron was gonna die because I didn't remember him, but he is in here for so long, and I do not remember a single thing about him.
It was so funny. I saw him and was like, "Who's that guy?" And he's like, "I have no idea. He probably just dies in 2 seconds." He's been around for like 5 seasons.
Yeah, I exclaimed when I realized that him and his boyfriend were gay. I was like, "No, they're gay!" because of how the show treats minorities. I was like, "No, they're gonna die in 2 seconds," which Denise died in 2 seconds. Eric lasted a little bit.
Oh my god! I fucking forgot about Denise. Holy shit! I fucking hate Denise. I hate her so much as a character. That pissed me off so much. If anyone was sad when Denise died, slap yourself in the face. She is such a fucking moron. Oh god, I'm a doctor, guys. I'm a cool doctor. I'm helping patients. Hey, let's go to this really dangerous area, and I want to go too because I think it would be cool.
And let me stand in this open field.
And then I'm gonna try to break into this car with this zombie, even though I've never killed a zombie before, and almost die so I can get a can of soda. And then she gets shot in the eye and fucking dies like a moron.
I haven't seemed to notice any minority-favored deaths recently. I feel like the Negan arc kind of put that to a halt. I feel like most of the time, it's just, what the fuck are you doing?
Angry sock ripoff.
I feel like Negan doesn't have favorites when it comes to killing people.
That's why Negan's cool.
Every point before that, though, they would, as soon as a black character would come on, and the old black character would die.
Yeah, it was a trade-off. So it was T-Dog, and he got replaced with Tyrese. And then Tyrese died.
Yeah.
And he was replaced with
Noah.
With Noah.
But then he died.
And then Noah died, and he was replaced with the Priest. Priest is still alive, but Sasha died, who was the other black character. And I don't know if she's been she was replaced with the new black guy. I don't remember his name, but he has dreadlocks, and he's with Tara.
What?
Remember?
Tara?
Yeah.
Oh.
That guy, they got separated?
Dead?
I don't know if he's dead. I don't think he's dead yet.
I don't think they ever resolved that, if he even was alive or not.
Yeah, wasn't that before the 7-year time skip?
Yeah.
Did they... What the fuck happened to him?
That's kind of like what they did with Anna, the garbage lady. She knocked out Gabriel, and then that was kind of unresolved, and then they did the time skip, and they didn't talk about it.
What the fuck? No, what actually happened? Is he dead?
I don't remember.
What happened to
I
him?
don't think that was actually resolved. Because Tara came back, and it's like, oh, Negan, and Denise is dead. Because that was her girlfriend.
Is he in the spinoff or something?
I don't even know his name. I think his name is Heath or some shit.
Yeah, I think it's Heath. I want to look this up. Is he fucking dead?
Because they did the fake out zombie with the dreads. But
Yeah, but it wasn't him.
Yeah, like I said, it's fake out. I don't know if it's actually resolved. I think they literally forgot about him.
Let's fucking...
I hate the new characters so far. The time skip characters. What?
They did forget about him. Heath, confirmed reoccurring character Heath is likely to make an eventual return. The resourceful survivor hasn't even been seen since the 7th season.
They literally...
They just forgot about him.
I think that's worse than killing him off. They literally forgot about him.
My man went to the Shadow Realm.
Man. Like I said, The Walking Dead hates minorities.
Fuck, dude. I'll just say he's dead. So then who was he replaced by? Have we got a new black guy yet?
I mean, Jesus took up the gay status.
Yeah, and he's about to die. I wonder if Aaron will die.
Tara's gonna die. I don't really know any new characters after that.
We got those 3 people.
Oh, 2 gay people. There's the Yumiko and I forgot her name.
God, there's so many people to fucking keep track of now. My favorite characters in The Walking Dead, I like Ezekiel.
Ezekiel's black.
Negan. Oh yeah, he was replaced by.
I think he has the Michonne status though. At least for now. I feel like he might die soon because of the spinoff.
Which sucks, even though I like Ezekiel. Fuck. I lose train of thought. Oh, but favorite characters. I love Ezekiel. Negan's the best character in the entire series.
Yep.
I don't care what anyone says. Mm-hmm. Rick's fine. He's sometimes good and sometimes bad.
As Norman Reedus Daryl says multiple times, Rick talks too much.
Daryl was really good up until the Negan arc.
Yeah.
He's good in the Negan. He's good in the Negan arc. He's bad at the end of the Negan arc,
or he randomly decides to turn on Rick.
Yeah, and he is just now an evil guy for no reason, and now I don't really like that.
And the fact they're like, "Oh, evil Maggie." Maggie just leaves.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's bullshit. An evil Jesus for some reason, which makes no sense in the context of the story.
Yeah, but I know how he dies, and I'm not with context, of course, but the way he dies doesn't even revolve... Wait, yeah, Rick dies. Or, everybody thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
So the fact that they all made these 3 characters just evil for no reason
is really strange.
Yeah.
I mean, Maggie has a reason to be evil, but the other 2 have no reason to be the way they are.
Yeah.
Daryl's just like, fuck. He has beef with Negan, but he has way more beef with Dwight, but he let him go.
I remember when we saw Daryl say, like, I'm in, you're like, I'm interested. And then Rick dies, quote unquote, the next 2 episodes. So it's unresolved to the sense of, oh, evil Daryl.
It just feels fucking wasted potential. That makes no sense. And Jesus is the biggest one that makes no sense of why he would randomly become evil.
He's such a neutral party to me. Like, he doesn't...
To me, he's always been, like, lawful good.
Yeah.
He bothered to go out of his way to save all the people that was associated to Negan, and now is suddenly like, no, we gotta fucking murder Negan behind Rick's back. I don't give a shit what Rick has to say.
Yeah.
It just out of nowhere. And now because he's always made it clear that he didn't want to be like the leader of the place, but now he's just like, well, fuck the people there. I'm gonna ditch like saving them and go train in the force with my boyfriend.
Yeah. Another weird thing about the short Maggie arc of her being the leader is like everybody's justifications for doing things is because she hung Gregory. But
yeah, Gregory fucking deserved it, dude.
I feel like their justification is completely different from Maggie's situation. Gregory actively fucked up even after everybody congregated and tried to have her killed. Have him hanged.
Gregory has done so much fucked up shit. Like, it's not like no one gave him a second or third chance.
Yeah, and then they just start killing characters for no reason. They're like, well, you killed Gregory, so it's okay. And then Maggie's like, you know what? That makes sense. I'm gonna go kill Negan. Like, what the fuck?
It's so fucking out of nowhere and makes no sense. Everyone's acting like Gregory didn't have it coming.
Yeah.
Like, first, he's tries to get a pregnant woman to leave the camp because he doesn't give a shit if she lives or dies. And then, after he gets kicked out from being the king, he goes back to the villain sides and reports them and saying that he's going to throw them out and kill them. And then he goes to pretend to be on their side and gets super angry and is just angry. He's like, oh, we're going to fucking murder these guys, and tries to be on their side, but way overboard and tries to murder innocent people. And then after that, he's like, all right, we're going to secretly assassinate the new president.
Yeah. Like, he didn't even have the balls to try to do it himself.
Like, he totally had it coming. And everyone's like, well, you killed Gregory and he was innocent.
Like, what everybody did was fucked up. Like, that mid-boss woman, I think Arat, her name was. But she congregated into that community as a different person, and she hadn't done anything like that for a while. I get people have beef with her, but that's not... Under the laws that they were starting to put in place, they shouldn't have done that. And Daryl even said was like, oh yeah, do it. Even though he let Dwight go. And one of the bitches, like the mid-bosses that is still alive for some reason, I don't know her name, but the white girl, the blonde girl, punchable face, she's still alive even though she did just as bad as a rot. I don't understand why some of these characters got let off and some of these characters were sentenced to death.
The next character I want to talk about.
Okay.
Who I don't really like what they did with him in the Negan arc for the most part.
Okay.
Morgan.
Okay.
So, I don't know if this is controversial or not, because I think this is where Morgan does the most stuff.
Yeah.
In the whole show, and before he, is permagon. Mm-hmm. So Morgan, when he's already introduced into this arc, he's already kind of the perfect character. Mm-hmm. He's his whole thing is all right, I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to kill a single person. I'll murder the fuck out of zombies because they're whatever. But he even starts with letting a dude rob him, and he's like, I will give you everything I have with not even a fight. Is it okay if I have a little bit of water or something like that left? No? Okay, well, I'll just give it to you. Whatever. He's already the nicest guy you could meet.
He's at peak.
So then he goes through a whole thing of I'm going to show you guys I can redeem a guy. Tries to redeem him and it doesn't work and it gets people killed and it's fucked up. So he starts to get all fucked up about it. But then we found out later that it actually did work, but nobody ever fucking told him about it.
Carol has such a murder boner.
And the guy secretly did get redeemed, but Nobody
except Morgan and Denise.
Yeah, but nobody fucking told him that the guy got redeemed, so Morgan just thinks the world is a piece of shit now.
Well,
and just starts murdering people.
Off screen, Denise told him. Remember that one scene where he's like, oh, that guy. He did mention it, but Denise never told him on screen.
Oh, what did he say again?
He said that he helped out Denise or whatever.
Yeah, but didn't he?
Oh, chain of events. He was talking about chain of events. I'll let the guy stay and live, but then he helped Denise get back so Carl could live or something like that.
Ah. Well, wasn't that after he'd already become back to where he was?
What do you mean?
Back to good guy Morgan, not crazy murder?
I don't remember.
Well, fuck. Okay. Well, even so, the whole Negan arc, he's just out there murdering people, which, it makes sense for the context of the story, but development-wise, Morgan doesn't go anywhere as a character.
He just goes in a circle.
He starts off already max tier, loses, 20 levels just to go back to exactly where he was at the end of the story.
Yeah.
So, development-wise, he hasn't moved anywhere. The most technically he got that developed him was... Oh, now Henry, you know how to use a stick too. Bye! And that's it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any characters worth mentioning.
Carol.
Carol murder boner.
Murders all the time. And
What?
Carol just changes to when the story needs her to change.
Yeah, she's like, I like murdering, and then she cries about murdering. I can't murder for you guys anymore.
She murders like 30 people and then threatens a small child that she will tie him up in the woods and let him get eaten by walkers.
Which subsequently...
Which makes the kid die. Carol technically murdered a small child and made him get eaten because he was
and his entire family.
Because he was so terrified of getting eaten by walkers because she threatened him.
And
that
it made
got everyone killed.
It made Carl lose his eye by proxy.
Carol got like 4 people killed that day and she wasn't even there for it.
Yeah.
And she is such a psycho murderer. And then literally the next season, oh no, I hate murder. And she cries and she talks about Jesus and the Bible a shit ton. And it's really weird out of nowhere.
I feel like people would probably mention her when Sophia dies, her daughter in the first season, or, first and second season, that she mentioned God a little bit. But after that, she doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, she doesn't bring up...
Until that point.
Yeah, she doesn't bring up God, like, a single time up until this fucking season.
Then she just starts hyperventilating and pissing herself. Like, I can't murder people, and then murders people.
And she starts, like, crying over the cross that she just is holding on to while she's being held captive. And she's like, I praise Jesus Christ. He is my Lord and Savior, and he will protect me. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And, like, because first you think, oh, well, she's doing this as, like, some kind of act so she can escape being held captive. But no, she just keeps on this after the fact, even when she escapes. And you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Why? Yeah. She's been such a strong, independent woman. And then all of a sudden, she just keeps breaking down at almost...
By strong, independent woman, I mean, like, popping some fucking people. Like,
no,
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
Like, she just kind of does things. And she doesn't freak out about it. And, like, she was stone cold for a while.
I don't actually agree with that.
Yeah?
I feel like most of the story, she's just, like, riding off of Daryl's coattails.
Yeah. Which is weird that they even bothered making her get together with Ezekiel, which means he has to die because of her. In a weird sense. If it's not directly related to her, yes it is. Because they have a quota to fill. If he dies, it's her fault. By proxy.
Carol just transforms... in every season, and is a completely different season every fucking season.
I remember liking her as a kid, just because, like, I guess I pitied her. Because, my husband beats me.
I'm looking at it as, like, a writing standpoint.
No,
like, she makes no sense.
I'm talking about the first 2 seasons when I saw this. Oh, my husband beat me. Oh, my daughter is dead. Like, I liked her because I pitied her. I thought she was sad. I wanted her to get a win. Now she's just fucking weird. She's so weird.
Grew out her hair really long.
It doesn't suit her at all.
Has an adopted kid, and she's willing to give up all of her stuff, but then go back to murder them, even though she said she doesn't like killing.
Yeah. What were they? Oh, they were going out to see Daryl, I guess. Yeah. Is there another character worth mentioning?
Michonne?
I feel like she's kind of self-explanatory.
Michonne hasn't changed through the entire course of the show.
She's just Michonne.
And then she randomly jumped to Rick's new girlfriend.
One thing I do hate about Michonne's character is not her, like, introduction, but when you first start seeing her do stuff.
Oh,
Andrea.
I have something with Michonne. Yeah, that kind of has to do with that, sort of. So, there's a big contradiction in the show. In Michonne's opening scene... with her saving Andrea and shit like that, and they're watching the helicopter and the governor and all that scavenge for parts, her walkers start acting up, and she murders both of them. And Andrea mentions up later, like, were they friends of yours? That was probably really hard on you. And she's like, no, they were worse. They were always monsters. They were always terrible people. And then later on in the season, she has this whole conversation just talking to somebody, being like, oh man, that was my brother and I think my husband, and I loved them very much. They were great people, and they got themselves killed. And she's all emotional about it, like they were good people.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason.
Yeah. It's just, I wish they didn't connect Michonne to Andrea.
Andrea fucking sucks, dude.
Because it's like, oh, Andrea, like, come with me, come on. Like, they act like they're such best friends. First of all, they don't really show it. Second of all, it doesn't work. It just really doesn't work.
They never have a single scene together where they're not fucking arguing.
Yeah. Like, she must have gave, like, really good head or some shit for her to have her around like that. But, like, damn. You know, she had, like, a weird obsession with Andrea for no reason.
Andrea was just Rosita, but worse.
Yeah. She's a really good shot, though.
Oh, fucking Christ. That's the catchphrase for the whole fucking series, dude. I'm a really good shot.
Everybody fucking says that.
There's not a single character in the show who doesn't... Oh, no, sorry. That's not the catchphrase for the show. How many walkers have you killed?
Oh, boy.
How many people have you killed?
Why? Yeah, I stopped watching it before that started to happen.
That's why I thought it was so funny in the Governor arc when he gets the call from Lori and they tease at it. I'm like, oh man, it's coming. I'm going to hear it every 2 minutes. And now we're at that point. Every new character, he asks the fucking question.
Wow.
And every single time he's like, all right, you're in. Like, he never questions it.
Yeah.
Even to that one crazy girl who had, like, her dead husband's head cut off in a box.
Yeah, she probably would have been like, you know what? You probably going through some things. We can accept you.
No, he did accept them by the end. 'Cause remember, he asked her the questions and she passed.
Yeah.
So, she would have been a part of the team. She didn't die right there.
Yeah. I feel like there's something I wanted to mention. Distrust.
Distrust?
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, in my head, I'm thinking distrust, but I don't know what.
Oh, Eugene. Should talk about Eugene.
Am I talking about Eugene?
Maybe. He betrayed the team to come back to their side.
He was such a shitty double agent.
I fucking hate Eugene. He's the worst.
Like, that last scene didn't even look intentional. Like, okay, so the Negan, like, arc end. All of Negan's buddies, whatever, is about to shoot down and kill all of literally everybody. Like, I'm pretty sure the Kingdom was there, but I know everybody from Rick's group was there. Like, even Maggie, everybody was there. And Eugene, I guess, intentionally messed with the bullets that he made because he's a bullet maker, and all the guns that were being shot off to kill everybody backfired and killed everybody who shot them, which didn't look intentional at first because Eugene looks surprised.
It's also weird too because, like I was saying when we were watching the episode, right before the final arc where they go out there happens, Negan shoots off a couple bullets to see how they work, and it works just fine.
I don't think he really could have anticipated that. Like, I feel like most people would be like, oh, he anticipated it or something like that. Maybe, but he knew he'd fire off those exact amount of bullets.
I guess. Magically knew that he would shoot off like 3 shots to make those normal bullets, and then from then on, all the bullets are evil bullets.
Yeah. So, yeah. I guess that about wraps this episode up. I don't really have much else to say.
I feel like this was a good one. Neither of us lost. High five. There we go. I'm Pear.
I'm Mongo.
And we'll see you guys next time. It's probably uploaded on Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye.